So first growth, second reproduction are the important characteristic features of the living organism. Growth and reproduction. These two are important characteristic features of living organism. Next important characteristic feature or fundamental property, fundamental character is metabolism. Metabolism is one of the important basic property or character of living organism. Living organism. See, metabolism is one of the important character of living organisms like growth and reproduction. So, what is metabolism? What is metabolism? Metabolism is biochemical process. Biochemical process. Biochemical process. Biochemical process. Biochemical process. In that various chemical reactions. So metabolism is the biochemical process. In that the various chemical reactions occurs. Various chemical reactions. See, biochemical process in which various chemical reactions occurs. Various chemical reactions occurs to sustain in order to maintain the life. In order to maintain is called metabolism. One more definition. Metabolism means sum of all chemical reactions. Sum of all chemical reactions occurs in our body. Is also called metabolism. Is called metabolism. Some of all chemical reactions or some of total all chemical reactions occurs in our body. Is called metabolism. So metabolism is nothing but a biochemical process in which various chemical reactions occurs in order to maintain the life. So to maintain the life, so living organisms, we know that living organisms are made up of chemicals. Living organisms are made up of chemicals. So these chemicals involved in various chemical reactions inside the cell. So these biochemical reactions occurs in our body are very important to maintain the life. These chemical reactions occurs in our body or in the cells are very important to maintain the life. Okay? Some of all biochemical reactions occurs in our body is called metabolism. Metabolism occurs in all plants. Metabolism occurs in plants, animals, microbes, and fungi. See, metabolism occurs in all plants, animals, and microbes and fungi. There are thousands of chemical reactions. There are thousands of chemical reactions. There are thousands of chemical reactions occurs in our body or in the living organisms. In the living organisms, there are thousands of chemical reactions occurs in the living organisms. Here, it's the metabolism is the thing, but various type of chemical reactions occurs in our body to maintain the life. So, metabolism occurs all plants, animals, microbes, and fungi. Thousands of biochemical reactions occurs in the living organisms. Okay? So, there are two types of metabolism. There are two types of metabolic reactions, or there are two types of metabolism. We know what is metabolism? Biochemical reactions. Very simple. Metabolism means it's a biochemical process in which biochemical reactions occurs in order to maintain the life. See, metabolism are of two types. Metabolism are of two types. One is catabolism. First one, catabolism. First one, catabolism. Catabolism concerned with catabolism is concerned with breakdown of complex organic substances into simple organic substances. Simple organic substances. See, catabolism is concerned with breakdown of complex organic substances into simple organic substances. It's called catabolism. So, best example, you know catabolism. So, complex, very simple. Catabolism is breakdown of complex organic molecules, and they are converted into simple organic substances. Is called catabolism. Example for catabolism: oxidative breakdown. Oxidative breakdown of glucose. Oxidative breakdown of glucose and release energy in the form of ATP, adenosine triphosphate, during respiration. See, during oxidative breakdown, oxidative breakdown of glucose. That means glucose undergo oxidative breakdown. Glucose undergo oxidative breakdown and release energy. In the form of ATP, adenosine triphosphate, during respiration. Here, glucose is breakdown. And release energy is the best example for catabolism. So, complex organic substances, for example, carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are breakdown. Carbohydrates are complex organic molecules. Carbohydrates are complex organic molecules. These carbohydrates, complex organic molecules, so break down and finally give us end product. Carbohydrate digestion end product is glucose. Carbohydrate digestion end product is glucose. Again, this glucose undergo oxidative breakdown and release energy in the form of ATP during respiration. See, it is a breakdown. Complex organic, for example, carbohydrates. complex organic food. For example, protein. Protein is a complex organic substance. This protein, complex organic substance, break down and give rise to amino acids. Protein end product. Protein digestion. End product is amino acids. For example, lipids. Lipids are also complex organic substances. They undergo digestion or breakdown. They heal, they produce, they give rise to fatty acids and glycerol. Like that, carbohydrate, proteins, lipids. These are the major energy sources. Carbohydrates, proteins, and lipids are the complex organic molecules. Carbohydrates break down, they give rise to glucose. Proteins, after the breakdown of proteins, they yield amino acids. The end product of lipid digestion are fatty acid and glycerol. So, glucose undergo oxidative breakdown, release energy in the form of ATPs during respiration. This is called a catabolism, means breakdown. Second one is anabolism. Opposite to catabolism. Second one is anabolism. Second one is anabolism. Anabolism is concerned building up anabolism is concerned with building up or synthesize the complex substances from simple ones is called anabolism. Building up or synthesize the complex substances. From simple ones. I will give an example for anabolism. Carbohydrates, we know already. Carbohydrates are the complex substances. Carbohydrates are the complex organic substances. These carbohydrates are synthesized from carbon dioxide and water. In the presence of chlorophyll. And sludge. Here, see, carbohydrates are the complex organic substances. These complex organic substances, like carbohydrates, are synthesized during photosynthesis. We know in plants the photosynthesis occurs. So that's why plants are called producers. That's why we call the plants are the producers. See, photosynthesis occurs in the plants. So during photosynthesis, the plants requires carbon dioxide, water and light. The light is absorbed by the chlorophyll molecules present in the plants. Clear? The chlorophyll molecules absorbs the light, and carbon dioxide and water are utilized, and it results in the manufacture or synthesis of carbohydrates. You know, carbohydrates are the complex food substances. These are manufactured or synthesized during photosynthesis occurs in plants. So during photosynthesis, plants can use carbon dioxide, water, chlorophyll and light. So construct, this is building up, construction. So here building up or synthesis of carbohydrates takes place. Carbohydrates are complex. Molecules are constructed or built up by simple ones. Simple molecules. Yeah? This is about the metabolism. What is metabolism? Types of metabolism. So catabolism and anabolism. These are the two major types of metabolism. So thousands of metabolic reactions occurs in the body of living organisms. Among these, so these two, catabolism and anabolism, are the two important metabolic reactions occurs in the living organisms. Okay, third, metabolism. Next one. Fourth, cellular organization of body. Cellular organization of body. Fourth one. Cellular organization. Cellular organization of the body. Cellular organization of the body. Cellular organization. We know that cells are the structural and functional unit. Cells are the structural and functional unit. Cells are considered as the structural and functional unit of life. Next, in unicellular organisms, in unicellular organisms, in unicellular organisms, in unicellular organisms. See, all functions in unicellular organisms, all functions are performed by single cell. Single cell perform all the functions in unicellular organisms. Clear? Cell is the structural and functional unit of life because all living organisms are basically made up of cell. All living organisms are basically made up of cell. That's why the structure, basically they are made up of cell. And function, all the functions are carried out by cell. That's why cell is considered as the structural and functional unit of living organisms. Then unicellular organisms. In unicellular organisms, all functions are carried out by single cell. Single cell can carry out or performs all the functions in unicellular organisms. But in multicellular organisms, various levels of organization. We observe various levels of organization occurs in the multicellular organism. So in the unicellular, single cell performs all the functions. But in multicellular organisms, we find various levels of organization like tissue level of organization, organ level of organization, and organ system level of the multicellular organisms. But in unicellular organisms, only one cell is present. This single cell performs all the functions. Next, in multicellular organisms, we observe various levels of organization like tissue level, organ level, and organ system. These are the different type of levels occurs only in multicellular organisms. Okay. Then this is about different type of various levels of organization. Okay. So this is about cellular organization of the body. This is the fourth. Fifth one is irritability. Fifth one is irritability. Next one is irritability. Irritability means response. Very simple. Irritability means response. See, conscientiousness is ability to sense. Conscientiousness is able to sense or ability to sense to our surroundings or environment and response to environmental stimuli. Could be physical, chemical, or biological. See, all living organisms can respond to environmental stimuli. Response is also one of the important property or fundamental property of living organisms, because all living organisms can respond to their environmental stimuli. That's why conscientiousness, irritability is a response. Conscientiousness is able to sense surroundings is able to sense surroundings or environment and response to environmental stimuli. Could be physical, chemical, or biological stimuli. See, response. Irritability, response. All the living organisms, including plants and animals and microorganisms, can respond to environmental stimuli. Environmental stimuli may be physical, chemical, or biological. Second point, plants shows response. Plant shows response to light, temperature, so then pH, light, temperature, pH, water, and pollutants. Plants so give response to external factors. Plants responds to external factors like light, temperature, pH, water, and pollutants. So like all prokaryotes and eukaryotes, both prokaryotes and eukaryotes are response to external factors. Response to external factors. External factor is environmental factors, both prokaryotes and eukaryotes show response or stimuli to environmental factors or external factors. Okay. So next one, photo period. Very important. Photo period. Photo. The plants and animals. The plants and animals show response to photo period. That is seasonal breeders like photo period. So in which the seasonal breeders, photo period in which the seasonal breeders of both plants and animals. In response. Photo period in which the seasonal breeders of both plants and animals can respond or response. Give a response to photo period by seasonal breeders like plants and animals. This is called irritability. Means response. Very simple response. All the living organisms show response to external stimuli or environmental factors. This is called irritability. Okay. Next, diversity of the living world. Next concept. Diversity of the living world. Diversity of the living world. Diversity of the living world. Living world. Diversity of the living world. See, we see our environment, already I have discussed. We see or we observe the environment. So various millions of variety of millions of plants and animals are seen or present in our environment. In our environment, very simple. In our environment, variety of millions of plants and animals are present. Like potted plants, insects, migratory birds, migratory birds. Next, pet and wild animals. Pet and wild animals. Pet and wild animals. And variety of plants are present. Millions of plants and animals are present in our environment. See, we know millions of plants and animals are present in our environment. So all these plants and animals are named by local names. All these organisms are called by local names. Local names are local languages. and plants are named by local names or local languages. But we know this leads to confusion. It leads to confusion. We know it leads to confusion. It leads to confusion because the names, the local names or local languages are varying. These two, local names and local languages, are varying from place to place. Change, vary means change. Local names or local languages are change and varies from place to place. Within country varies, place to place, within country, within a country, or within a state, within a state. The local names or local languages are vary, place to place, within a country and within a state. So probably or it leads to a confusion to identification of organisms. It leads to confusion for the identification of the living organisms. Hence, its need for a naming of living organism. Hence, it need a naming of living organism. Naming of living organism. Naming of living organism. So to avoid confusion, let's see the naming of organism. See, the particular organism now to all by the same name. Particular organism. Now to all by the same. All over the world is called nomenclature. See, to avoid the confusion, it's need a naming of organism. The particular organism. So, the particular organism now to all by all same. Now to all by the same throughout the world is called nomenclature. That means throughout the world, the particular organism is named by only one name. But there is no other names. This is called nomenclature. Particular organism known to all over the world is called nomenclature. All over the world, the particular organism is named by single name. This is called nomenclature. And avoid the confusion. So this kind of avoid the confusion. So for this purpose, the biologist, for avoid the confusion, the biologist established for this purpose, the biologist established for this purpose, the biologist established established the procedures to design Biologists established the procedures to design the naming of scientific naming of living organisms. Design the scientific naming of living organisms. So, the scientific naming of living organisms by principles and criteria prescribed by. See, to avoid the confusion, biologists established procedures to design the naming of living organisms by principles and certain criteria prescribed by ICBN. ICBN means International Code for Botanical Nomenclature. International Code for Botanical Nomenclature. So the biologist can assign some principles to naming of living organisms under the principles and certain criteria prescribed by ICBN, International Code for Botanical Nomenclature, and ICZN. So International Code for Zoological. International Code for Zoological Nomenclature. International Code for Zoological Nomenclature. So hence, scientists can use only one name for particular organism. Clear? The scientists use only one name for particular organism throughout the world. Throughout the world, the particular organism is named by only one name throughout the world to avoid the confusion. Clear? Scientists use or give only one name for a particular organism to avoid the confusion. Clear? So then, this type of naming, the giving of only one name for a particular organism, this kind of naming was given by Carolus Linnaeus. We know Carolus Linnaeus was a father of taxonomy. See, scientists give only one name for a particular organism throughout the world to avoid the confusion. See, this kind of naming was given by very first Carolus Linnaeus. Father of taxonomy. Carolus Linnaeus, father of taxonomy. See, Carolus Linnaeus was regarded as father of taxonomy, and he proposed binomial nomenclature. He proposed binomial nomenclature. Carolus Linnaeus, father of taxonomy, introduced the binomial nomenclature. According to binomial nomenclature, binomial nomenclature is the scientific method of naming. Binomial nomenclature is scientific method of naming of organisms. Binomial nomenclature is the Scientific method of naming of organisms by two names. By two names. By two names. They are first name. First name is genus. First name is genus. Second name is species. See, binomial nomenclature was introduced by Marcus Carlos Linnaeus. What is binomial nomenclature? It's the scientific method of naming of organisms by two names. First name is genus and second name is a species. It's called the organism is named by two words. First one is genus name and second name is a species name. This is called binomial nomenclature as proposed by Carolus Linnaeus. Yeah. Next, rules of, for example, binomial nomenclature. So, rules of binomial nomenclature. Rules of binomial nomenclature. Rules of binomial nomenclature. First one, each organism is named by two. Each organism, according to binomial nomenclature, each organism consists of two names. Each organism consists of two names. First one is genus. Second one is a species name. Second one is species. This is the first rule of binomial nomenclature. According to binomial nomenclature, each organism is named by two names. First name is genus name and second one is species name. This is the first rule of binomial nomenclature. Next, second rule is, so always the genus name is written in capital. Genus name should be written in capital letters. Always in capital letters. Second rule of binomial nomenclature is always genus name is written in capital letter and species name should be always written in a small letter. This is the second rule of binomial nomenclature. Genus name always written in capital letter and species name is always written in small letter. For example, Coccus nucifera. Coccus nucifera. See, Coccus, see, it's a genus name. It's capital letter. So species name, N small letter. See, Coccus nucifera. Coconut plant. So genus name should be written in capital and species name should be written in small letter. So third rule of binomial nomenclature is, so scientific name should be written in italics. Scientific name should be written in italics or underline separately. Underline separately. So scientific name should be written in italics always, or underline circular. For example, Mangifera indica. Mangifera indica. Written in italics or underline separately. Mangifera indica, mango. Okay. So first, rules of binomial nomenclature. According to binomial nomenclature, the organisms are named by two names. First name is genus, second name is species. So second rule, always genus is written, should be written in capital letter, and species name should be written in a small letter. Cocos nucifera, genus name should be written in capital. Species name should be written in small letter. Cocos nucifera, coconut plant. So always the scientific name should be written in italics or underline separately. Mangifera indica. Mangifera indica, mango plant. Next rule. Next, fourth one. Fourth rule. The scientific names generally. The scientific names generally in Latin language. Scientific names generally should be Latin language, or else English term, or else English term is Latinized. Is Latinized. Generally, scientific name should be in Latin. Should be Latin, or else English term is Latinized. Next rule is the binomial nomenclature aims to know about particular organism. Binomial nomenclature help us to know about particular organism. For example, Ficus bengalensis. Bengal is the native of ficus. This information, particular, so binomial nomenclature give us information about particular organism. For example, Ficus bengalensis plant. So bengalensis is the native place of ficus. It's a native. Bengal is the native place of this plant. So this information is given by binomial nomenclature. We got some information regarding to particular organism by binomial nomenclature. Here, Ficus bengalensis, so plant. So bengalensis means Bengal. Ficus plant is the native of Bengal. So it indicates or it gives the information. This plant is the what information we got? The ficus plant is the native of Bengal. So these are the important rules of binomial nomenclature. Uses of binomial nomenclature. Uses of binomial nomenclature. Uses of binomial nomenclature. So first one, the binomial nomenclature avoid confusion. Binomial nomenclature. So avoid confusion arised by vernacular names. This is The first use of binomial nomenclature. Binomial nomenclature avoid the confusion. Avoid the confusion arise from vernacular names. So binomial nomenclature gives universal identification. Universal identification. Binomial nomenclature gives universal identification of living organisms. So, a particular organism is called by single name or one name throughout the word is called binomial nomenclature. Gives universal identification of the living organisms. The particular living organism is identified by a single name. So it gives binomial nomenclature. So gives us information. It gives us information regarding to the organism. Binomial nomenclature gives us information regarding to the particular plant or animal. I will give example. Ficus bengalensis. Here bengalensis is the native of Ficus bengal. So binomial nomenclature also gives certain information regarding to the plants and animals. These are the three important uses of binomial nomenclature. Avoid confusion arise from vernacular means. Then it gives universal identification of particular organism, and it gives the information regarding to a particular organism. These are uses of living binomial nomenclature. Uses of binomial nomenclature.